Alright, what's up, yins, guys? For my next presentation, I'm gonna do a better video than I did before, with the weights actually sitting on my chest, and I'm gonna elaborate more about how it cures the hunchback problem. But I'm gonna do a little bit of a better way. Today I got two 25-pounders here. Yes, two. You can just use one, or you can use a slight smaller or a 10 one. And before I get started, I'm going to say, too, you can do this laying on a floor like a rug or a mat. Maybe don't do it on your bed because the bed's too soft. You do it on like a mat, like your list, maybe, well, for the duration of an entire CD. I think I might play around with even sitting this on top, but I don't want to detract from the main point too much. But I've didn't explain it enough before, but all this junk in the way, I gotta move. I didn't explain enough before about how this cures the hunchback problem. I think I indicated it before when I had the other weights. But okay, we're gonna get started here. But well, a lot of us, some different people that are skinnier, even men have the hunchback problem, and it's curable to a certain extent. Alright, here we go. Yeah, it's curable to a certain extent. And what you do is, like some people when they have this problem, it's just not the neck and the back here, it's also in the ribs over here, and you need some weight to push down while you're breathing. And what you do here is you do this maybe for the length of an entire CD, or maybe while you're watching a DVD or anything, music video, or maybe have your remote handy and just play the DVD or CD over again, some kind of your favorite music. And what you're going to do is you can try to breathe different ways, like pushing it up into your chest here, like that. And maybe act like you're trying to do a sit-up and a crunch a little bit, straighten up your back. What this actually doing is, if you have one of them hunches where your ribs come up like this, and then if you lean while you're leaning against the wall, if you ever see yourself in a mirror, your back has a slight arch to it. This is going to push the ribs down, and it's going to push that spine down. So it's kind of a reverse of that concept where you ever see people ride horses and they put saddles on the horses, or haul packages or with horses, or like ride horses, and that horse will get that downward arch in its back after people have been sitting on it or people been hauling stuff on it. What you're doing is the opposite here. Instead of you're actually laying down, instead it would be almost like forcing a horse to lay on its back and put weights on it so that the horse's back would go back into shape like that again. But that's basically what you're doing. Do this for an entire length of a DVD or a CD or anything you want to listen to. And after a while, like, your ribs are actually flexible, and you're forcing them to change the shape again in your spine, and you're recorrecting. And maybe even put your legs all the way stretched out, even if you want to too, and you'll see a difference. And sometimes what I'll do, I'll even lean more weight on there like that, because I'm just more used to it. But don't do anything that can fall. And it's like I said in another video, this will take away your fear of stuff falling on you. I don't know if you're ever in an earthquake, maybe you're pinned by something. And maybe this will give you less fear too, if you happen to be into wrestling in some weird way. Maybe the person bigger than you, you're less fear of being crushed. But if you wanted to, you can even do dumbbell presses like this too, fluidly. But I'm going to put this aside here anyway, just showing you for example. And maybe every once in a while, maybe after you've listened to an entire CD or something, if you're comfortable after you've been breathing for a while and your chest has been smushed in enough, while you're doing this anyway, oh, this is the way actually correct. It'll keep your shoulders back and everything after a while too. A lot better than them. I don't know if you guys ever heard of those stupid devices people used to try to wear underneath their shirts or whatever. I don't know. They used to sell them in some, I don't know, stores that carry that kind of stuff that's supposed to correct your posture, and all it does is, actually, it almost would look like a bra or something. It's supposed to pull the shoulders back. I never tried them, but I heard about them in articles. I heard they don't work, and besides, it would look like underneath your clothes like you're wearing a bra or something. You don't see anybody using them things, so you don't even hear about them now, but because the damn things don't work. Shit like this is what works. This actually. But anyway, what I was about to say here, while you've been sitting this wood on your chest after a while, maybe you will even do this on your weight bench. If you're laying on your weight bench listening to music, just go ahead and bench press these things. You want to too. You know why? Because maybe, unlike maybe even sometimes the dumbbell pressing, you can go to that, but unlike the bench pressing with the bar, you got your hands go further back down, and this is almost more like a natural way you'd want to push another person or an object off of you or something. And it does work certain kind of strengthen yourself while you're at it. But I also said before too, you can, in the other videos, you can take the curling bar and then bench press backwards instead of like this. Go backwards, because if you have skinnier arms, you're strengthening that forearm, that part of that forearm and the wrist. And if you got skinnier arms, it'll build you more confidence because you're pushing that backwards, and you'll actually see that taper in your forearm even though you've got skinny arms. But yeah, this'll, but you will automatically adjust to this, and it seems to make sense that while you sit with this on your chest for maybe an hour or so while listening to music, that every once in a while pick it up and bench press it. Because this seems to do other muscle groups that the bench press don't do. And it's just right away, right up. I mean, it relates. I mean, it'll add to your gratification too at the same time. And it's about having less fear of having stuff on top of you, you know what I mean too. You can be totally muscle bound, but you can get hit in the right place and get the wind knocked out of you too, just like they teach you in the martial arts, like the system martial arts and all kind of martial arts that you can see on YouTube. But geez, after a while you can even go and just hit yourself with them. Like even those big muscle bound guys that like to hit themselves, well, kind of like I do in my videos too, but people like the power team and everybody too. They're big guys, but one thing they do is they show you they want to be able to take a punishment too. But anyway, this worked for me, because when I was younger I was made fun of a little bit too, and in a lot of cases I was one of them people that from the side, no matter how much weights you lift, you got that hunchback thing going on, and you get made fun of because you don't look right from the side. And this will cure that. It worked for me. I mean, I wish I would have done it years ago when I was a teenager. I wish I would have thought of it. But back when I was in high school, I used to be able to bench press a lot, and all that would happen is, no matter how many curls I do, I'd still have these long-looking arms, and my chest would look wider, and it wouldn't match. So, and in cases like that, it's better just to bench press instead of wide, trying to bench press more and be macho. Bench press more inward and try bench pressing backwards to kind of strengthen the arms and get tendon strength. Like some skinnier people and taller people shouldn't even do all that extreme bench pressing, simply because that's what happens. It'll make your chest you'll have this wide-ass chest and you'll have these long-ass arms and long-ass legs no matter how many squats and curls you do. Oh, and one thing I wanted to say, too, is when I had that hunchback problem, too, the ribs were pushed up like this, and my back, when I'm trying to do bench presses, my back would actually kind of go up like this, and I'd have an arch underneath where my lower back would be on the bench press. So I guess while I'm bench pressing, I'd have to be careful not to actually swing too far backwards or too far forwards, because my chest would be like this, because, well, you get the idea, but this cures it. This squashes the ribs down and forces that arch in the spine to go down towards the floor. And you'll notice a difference maybe in the mirror when you look at yourself from the side too. Everything looks straighter, and then everything else you can deal with. But yeah, maybe bench press it for a while. Yeah, you get the idea. I'm gonna put this stuff down here. But while I'm down here too, I want to show you one basic idea. Like what I used to do is I had this bow-legged problem too. I'd use these leg weights, put them on the leg, and this might look like a girly or Jane Fonda looking exercise from Jane Fonda back in the 80s or whatever, but you just pick your legs up like that, because some of us actually needed that exercise, because it needs some of the muscles that are up in the hips and the side of the thighs to pull outward instead of legs pulling in. Well, put it this way, you ever hear of that Thigh Master? That Thigh Master is actually a piece of junk, because anybody who has, whether it's a guy or a girl that has any kind of problems with maybe their skinnier legs and it bows in, well, whether you're bow-legged or not, I think that'll cause bow-leggedness. So what a lot of people need is the Thigh Master in reverse. I think if they used something like a Thigh Master, they should get something that pulls their legs outward too. Maybe the same thing, like maybe getting a bungee cord or something and pushing out. It's almost like you need something to push out. It don't make sense to use a Thigh Master, something to be going like this, without following up with something that pushes out. You know what I mean? This is almost like you're doing. You ever see the Dukes of Hazzard? You ever see Boss Hogg dance? Yeah, like that. But anyway, this is a crappy camera view here. Makes me look stretched out a little bit too, but. And then while I'm down here too, at the same time, I can give you a little review about the type of squats, because if your legs look skinny, you know, and everything else too, I want to remind you real quick too that you don't want to do those barbell squats like the other macho guys do. You want to work your legs in squats one at a time, and maybe sit a weight like this and work each leg one at a time. Like in my other videos there, and then up like that. But anyway, just so you get something out of that, so like I'm always saying too in my other videos, don't dwell on trying to get big giant like some of these muscle bound guys. If it ain't gonna happen, it ain't gonna happen. Go for the self-improvement. That's why I'm on here too. You know what I mean? There's the way I see it, skinny people are people too, and fat people are people too, and there's ways to take care of everything. But anyway, my time's ticking away. That's my 15 minutes. I'm going to stop this video before it runs out and it goes over. See you next time.